I'd like you to think back to the last time that you had a great experience at a bar or restaurant. The food was probably delicious, the drinks were probably a little strong, but I would also bet that the bartender was personable and attentive, or that the server was charismatic and invested in making sure that you had a great time. This is often how I introduce the concept of emotional labor. Emotional labor is anything that we do to create or to control our own feelings in order to maintain or improve the feelings of the people around us. And servers aren't the only ones who do this. Even though this concept was developed in the late 70s, it experienced a spike in popular attention during the Black Lives Matter and George Floyd protests of 2020, as well as yesterday, after the 2024 presidential election, when Black Americans began reporting that they were being burdened with the responsibility of helping others process their grief, anger, and fear. Now, my project complicates this a little bit through what I'm developing and calling queer emotional labor. Queer emotional labor describes the way that we perform emotional labor while also performing our contracted work. So think back to that server that we were just talking about. They were making you feel good while also taking your order, making your drinks, and cleaning up after you. In my project, I begin by mapping the language of queer emotional labor by turning to what I really like, reality television. More accurately, I performed 31 qualitative interviews with audiences of Netflix's Queer Eye. This series, a reboot of Bravo's series of the same name, features 5 queer men, the Fab Five, who make over a special guest every episode and help them with everything from personal hygiene to interior design. In my discussions, in my interviews, I asked my participants, if you could be friends with any member of the Fab Five, who would it be and why? Of 31 participants, only one person answered that they would be friends with their favorite because, quote, I think we would just really get along. Everyone else wanted to be friends with their favorite so that they could, quote, help them redecorate their house or, quote, yes, queen me all day long. My participants' responses and characterizations of the Fab Five illustrate how the Fab Five, and by extension queer men, are expected to behave in such a way that people are transformed by being around them. In the rest of my project, I answer my research questions of how and to whom queer emotional labor is valuable interpersonally, socially, and politically. I argue that even though this is an avenue for negotiating power for queer folks, it also is often taken advantage of and appropriated, a sentiment that one of my participants, Jade, best summed up when she said, "My job is to live my life, not save yours." Thank you.